Are you Gameball?
Hi, Aoifa here, and welcome to this week's edition of Gameball. We're outside one of Ireland's famous sports venues that's getting a facelift.
Well, today's a great day. We've launched, obviously, the sale of our 10,000 premium seats in the new stadium and, of course, our corporate boxes. So it's a landmark day. There's many packages available to the Irish public to purchase our tickets. Some really strong announcements as well that the general admission seats, our ordinary seats for our ordinary loyal fans, we're freezing those prices till 2012. There's 33,000 seats which will be frozen. We've also announced a Four Associations tournament in Dublin in 2011. Between ourselves, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. That's 2 games in February and 4 in May. So it's a great day, and really it's all about now, after the launch today, is getting out, selling these seats and getting as much money as we can to develop Irish football.
It looks like an optimistic future ahead, John, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you only have to look across to the stadium from where we stand, and I mean, I live that nearly every day because I'm down the stadium quite a lot, been on the board, and of course it takes up a lot of my time, and it really is a very positive experience to be involved in building this stadium. You're only going to build it once, and to be part of that is great.
More about the new home of Irish soccer later, but first, the big decider at Croke Park this weekend. We've been chatting to 2 players set to have a big impact on Sunday.
After down defeat, things were disappointing, and people were calling for Mickey Hart's head. It was a funny time to be playing for Tyrone, in that we went to Louth, Haggard and Stanley, got plenty of use for that, but we went to Louth that night with only 600 supporters. Certainly a low point in my career, and then it's something you're not used to as a Tyrone footballer, with all the criticism and all surrounded that. And then obviously I took a couple of tumbles myself personally, with the Westmeath fall, and then Wexford having to go off. It's been a roller coaster ride, but yeah, here at the end of the day we're in the place we wanted to be at the start of the year, and I hope now we can finish the job.
Brilliant to be in a final again, and the build up was always good. The fact that Tyrone are there now, there's an extra interest in it, and hopefully we'll be able to produce the goods. I still believe that any team that gets a second chance, a lot of fellas are talking about 3 in a row down here, and we would be of the belief maybe that if right was right, we would be knocked out of the championship. So any team that does get a second chance, I think, grasps it that bit more and know how lucky they are to be in the championship, and that's how we feel at the moment.
It's just probably the best Tyrone squad for spirit and for belief that I've ever been involved with, and us obviously saying much whenever you're talking about the team of 03 and 05. After the down game, we're down and out, and it really was like a Rocky story, because everyone just put their head down, and all the criticism was there, and we worked so hard, and extra training, nights in the gym, everything. Nothing was too much work for all the guys.
Tyrone will come down the same. They don't fear us, and we won't fear them, and it'll hopefully make for a good battle, and hopefully it'll be an enjoyable game to watch. They're like ourselves. They had a shaky start to the year. They lost in the Ulster Championship, we lost in the Munster Championship, but they're after coming good now, and they're on the right roll, and they seem to be getting better with every game. Everyone talks about the North, the Northerners coming down south, and playing this puke football and negative football. Kerry's probably played a bit of puke football in their time too, but they just don't like admitting it down south, But to be honest, I think ourselves and Kerry play a similar type of game, and that we played with that high intensity, and no matter what anyone says about Tyrone, playing this defensive system, I think we've scored an average of 19 or 20 points the last 4 or 5 games we've played, and I think that's always been a part of our game that we've been good at, and getting scores. So I think you're going to see an attacking, free-flowing All-Ireland final. And I reckon it'll be hell for leather around the middle of the field. Whoever wins that area and gets enough ball into their forwards has a good chance of coming out on top. Games are won and lost around the middle of the park. That half-hour line and half-back line are going to be vital again Sunday. It's the same every year in Kerry. We want to go out and do as well as we can. We want to win in All-Ireland if it's there. We're in a final again. That's what we want to do, and that's what we'll be trying to do.
Hot and Italia. I mean, it was early on in the game, so it wasn't too bad, but the run against England in '88 was just phenomenal. The first time Ireland had ever qualified for a major tournament. People always ask me what's my favourite goal, the one against England or the one against Italy, and obviously England, because one, it was against the old enemies, such as we used to call them, but more importantly, it was my first international goal. For Ireland's first major game in a major tournament and make you get the first goal. And my first goal was just incredible. I mean, we were fortunate in the end to hang on, but you know, it made the day. The lads were incredible, everyone that was in the squad, the management, but particularly the fans who turned up that day, because I'm sure they thought, yeah, you know, it's going to be a victory for England, but to have bragging rights that night on the England fans was tremendous.
The last man to lift the Sam Maguire for Tyrone was the great Peter Canavan, and one man with a lot of medals in his pocket is Paidi O'Se from Kerry. We've been chatting to both, getting their views ahead of the game on Sunday.
The place is going mad up there, as you'd expect, and the demand for tickets is something else. But it's different, I suppose, from my perspective now, and that you're not a player. When you're a player, you just tend to ignore everything that's going on around you. But now I can see just how mad everything is, and the amount of chat shows, and everybody wants to talk about football. But as far as I know, the preparation has gone very well. Like they have been doing all year, training has been very good. There's been a lot of effort been put in. And you know, you only have to look at the Dublin-Wexford games to realise the Tyrone players are in great shape. The obvious highlight was captaining and being a member of the first Tyrone team to win an All-Ireland title, because you know, for years, you know, we were told we couldn't win it, and a lot of people, older generations, thought Tyrone were destined never to win an All-Ireland. So that would obviously be a highlight. But if there's thousands of memories that you take away, small things that happen, you know, with the club, and victories that you've had with the club. But definitely the way my own career ended with Tyrone winning 2 All-Irelands was something else. It's important not to get too caught up in it, and remember that it is a game, and some people through no fault of their own don't have the chance to participate in it, maybe, or whatever. So if you're young, fit and healthy, enjoy it and make the most of it. If you have serious ambitions about going on and winning things, then you've got to give it time, and you've got to look after yourself, naturally, your body, and if you want to make it to the top and become successful, there's practice. Get out there, practice, and as I said, it applies to senior players. You never stop learning. You play under different managers, and be prepared to learn and be prepared to practice, and you have every opportunity of playing for your club, playing for your county, and at some stage they could play in one of the finest stadia in the world here in Croke Park.
I think you know that the best 2 teams in the country have reached the final now, and I think if we get a dry day on Sunday, and I think the weather forecast is supposed to be good, we're going to have a great final. I think Kerry will win. I think we have better players all over the field. The only thing that we have to counteract is the Tyrone technique, and we have to match Tyrone as well for their intensity. And if we do that, I think Kerry have a great chance. But if we don't, we could get burned. My favourite moment would have to be my first All-Ireland. It's a great feeling to win an All-Ireland, and to win it on the field, and to have an All-Ireland medal. You know, it was great, and I'll always treasure my first win in the All-Ireland final. The most important area, I think, for a player is that he must be enjoying his football, and to enjoy it, I suppose you have to be playing good football. So giving yourself every possible chance to play good football. I think that would be the advice. Giving yourself every possible chance to be honest with yourself, making sure you're doing all the right things, and if you do that, I think you'll enjoy it, and you will be eventually successful as well.
That's good. And Paul, I mean, you had a great career yourself in the Irish jersey. What would have been your highlight if you could pick one of them?
I think just playing in the World Cup in Italy, that was just, coming home in '88 was pretty good as well. But I think the World Cup in 1990 was just phenomenal. The support that we got from everyone at home, the things we heard about home, no one was doing any work or anything like that. The country was nearly going under. But that was the best time of my life, you know, because we got to play Italy and Rome. Sadly we lost that one. We weren't trash, but we lost that one. But there's nothing that beats representing your country, and I thought we did that as well as we could.